Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions in today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Welcome back. I am your host, like the guy just said. I am attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. I'm here with Deborah Schreiner and Jim Leahy.
That's right, we're with Group. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Schreiner, best in the business. That introduction at the beginning of the show, phenomenal.
Thanks, Jim.
You are very welcome. Again, I mean that sincerely. And you know what else is pretty sincere about this show? Is that we are here to help you fight the IRS, help get you back on track for financial success. And when I mean we, I mean attorney Stephen Leahy. I'm just the entertainment on this show. I am no tax professional whatsoever. So anyway, without further ado, it's the blog segment. The blog. Ooh, just let that music play out.
I love the music. Almost as much as Taxman.
Oh.
Okay, so today what I'm going to talk about is, and I gave you the teaser, right?
The IRS files.
That's good, Jim.
On it. The IRS files here on AM 560, brought to you by Little Debbie. Little Debbie Snacks.
Don't call her Little Debbie.
Well, that's all that can come to my head, Deborah. I didn't mean it like that.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you about the 5 reasons why you should file your tax return on time. Okay, there's at least 5 reasons. The first one, and this is where you could kind of talk about Wesley Snipes. The first one is because it's the law, right, to file your tax return on time.
Remember Wesley Snipes?
Yes, and because he believed that there was some loophole that said he didn't have to file his tax returns.
Like a lot of others that we've had.
And people fall into that trap, and there's lots on the internet about this trap. And tell you, the 14th Amendment wasn't really ratified, yada, yada, yada. See how I worked that in?
I see what you did.
And they're wrong. You'll go to jail, just like Wesley Snipes went to jail. He actually did 3 years in jail because he did 3 years. They gave him 1 year for every year he didn't file his tax return. And that's what the penalty is for not filing your tax return.
You did it 3 years.
You ever play roulette?
On occasion.
Let me give you a word of advice. Always bet on black.
Oh, very good, Debbie. And
if you have problems with the IRS, don't play roulette.
That's right. And
That's
here,
a great point.
And don't file your tax return late. Okay, so that's the first one. Don't file your tax return. That's the first reason why. It's against the law, and it's a crime, and you can go to jail for 1 year. Now, I don't mean to panic you if you haven't filed. They don't generally put people in jail, but they do. Ask Wesley Snipes. They will put you in jail. Okay, the second reason why is if you don't file your tax return on time and you don't file it at all, and after 3 years, and they owe you money, they won't give you the money. So I have a client, we're doing all of his tax returns because I tell people, about this. Do your tax returns. And he is a W-2 employee. And a W-2 employee means that he's working for a job, and on his job they take out of his taxes, and they send it to the IRS, and then you file your tax return. And most people get a refund. But he hasn't filed. So we're doing like 7 years of his tax return. And we're in the early years now. I think he owed in 2010, he owed like $3,000. The next year, 2011, he was supposed to get a $4,000 refund. The next year, he was supposed to get a $3,500 refund. He's not getting those refunds. And they're not going to use it to offset what he owes them. So now does he owe the $3,000? Now that's $7,000 that he's lost. And that's just gone. So it's like giving the IRS money that you don't have to give them. It's gone. So that's the second reason why.
And it's gone.
It's gone. You just don't get it. And they say, well, they owe me money. I mean, I owe them money. Why couldn't they just offset it? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to file. There's 3 years. There's a deadline. So coming up now is April 5th, 17th this year. There's a deadline. The next year will fall off. So that's 3 years ago would be 2015, 2014 taxes came due. So if you have to do those before April 17th of this year in order to get the refund. So if you have some unfiled tax returns, call me 312-664-6649. We'll do them for you.
Not a lot of people know that. They get scared.
So the third reason now goes to audits. If I file my tax return, they only have 3 years to audit it, right? So then, so if I don't file, well, they can audit me forever because I haven't filed them. So they could tell me, hey, you got to file it, and then they can audit me. So I never get past it. I can never get past it. So that's the third reason.
What do you mean you can't get past it?
Well, because now you're going to have to do your tax return, and they can audit you. Right? So if you go in with everybody else and you file your tax return, there's a very good chance you're not going to get audited. But when you file late, an individual looks at your tax return, not a machine, and they're more likely to be more critical because you're late. Oh. And now they're going to audit you. Okay, so file it on time. There's less chance of an audit, and there's a 3-year statute. They can't go back after that and audit you. So they can't go back and say, oh, 4 years ago, you took deductions you weren't entitled to. It's too late. You can't go after me. Okay, there's some exceptions, but generally they can't go after.
How do I know if there's exceptions? What do I?
I just told you there was an exception, but
how do I know the exception?
Well, that's why the exception generally is if you owe more than 20. If your tax is going to change by more than 25%, then they can go back further. They can go back 6 years, I believe. Okay, so the fourth reason, and I don't want to run out of time on this, but the fourth reason is that there is what they call a statute. We call it the CSED date, collection statute expiration date. And that is 10 years from the date the tax is assessed. So I have a client now, and they're still collecting from 1998 taxes. Well, that's more than 10 years, isn't it, Steve? The answer is yes, because they waited so long to file their tax return that obligation that that could have been gone already is still after them more than 10 years, almost 20 years later. It's still on them. So if you file your tax return, at least the statute starts running, and you know that after 10 years they can't collect from me anymore. So that's the fifth reason, and that's a huge reason.
That's a big reason,
right there. I can't tell you how many, because you hear this from people, about this 10 years. Oh, there's a 10-year statute, but it doesn't apply to everybody because again, if you haven't filed your tax return, then the 10-year statute never starts. And so there wasn't a 10-year statute of limitations. So, well, I know I haven't filed, but it was more than 10 years ago, so they can't come after me for that, right? No, wrong. They could still come after you. So, again, that's the fourth thing.
We're the IRS. We can do what we want.
Exactly. And then the fifth thing, and this is the fifth reason, and this really has to do with you, peace of mind. You know how many people, when most people come to see me, the first thing they tell me is, I can't sleep at night. This bothers me.
That commercial.
Yes,
that's what you offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep. But if you just file your tax return, you'll have a good night's sleep. You won't have to worry about this. Because I tell you, if you owe the IRS money or you haven't filed your tax return, and what happens, right, when people don't file, and again, I have so many of my clients don't file their tax returns. When you don't file your tax return on time, what happens? You might forget about it and put your head in the sand for after April. You'll pretend you'll try to forget about it, but then you'll hear about it and it'll come back and gnaw at you, and then you'll try to forget about it again, and then and then it'll come next January and you say, oh, I got to do this year's tax return. Oh, I got to do last year's tax return. And then you'll throw your hands up and you won't do it. Now it's 2 years. Okay. So for your own peace of mind, do your tax return on time. And I'm also against this, and I hear this a lot. Tax preparers who tell you, just file an extension. You'll be fine. Just file an extension, and it's still on time. And so, and the reason why they want you to do that is because they're busy before April, and they want to be able to do the work in the summertime. And I can't tell you how many people come and say, "Well, my CPA always tells me file an extension," and I always tell them, "Did you know that you had to file your tax on time in April, even if you owe money, even if you file an extension?" Oh, no, my accountant never told me that. Did you know that if you don't do that, you're going to pay a penalty on top of my tax?
Wow.
And they said, no, I didn't know that. So that's another reason. File it in April. Don't file it in
There's so much information out there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's great about Attorney Stephen Leahy's IRS YouTube channel. Remember, the channel is going to have previous videos, great content available for you, the struggling American that has the IRS coming after you. So remember, if they're coming after you, you give Open Tax Resolution a call, 312-664-6649, or visit chicagotaxteam.com. That's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. You can watch previous videos there too. It's a great little tool to help get you back on track for financial success. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that information, listen to some Perry Mason and come on back here on AM 560.
The Answer.